Out of all the things that comes in and out of the health and wellness space, from longevity to improving overall life markers, simply just working out still seems to be in the top 10 recommendations. And in this video, I'd like to add to that with my personal experience of 16 years of working out. I would like to also mention 5 reasons I think that working out has dramatically improved and maintained my bedroom health and performance. Plus, and in my opinion, more importantly, I also want to mention 5 things to always keep in mind when utilizing this amazing tool for all of its benefits, because trust me, it can have the opposite effect. And I know this from experience, and that is the reason I'm making this video. So the reasons: it will improve your bedroom performance and health, but 5 things to make sure that it does. I also want to mention, if you are someone that is working out, hopefully this just confirms everything that you are doing. But my guess is, if you're someone that's been working out for 5, 10 plus years, you could be doing things, if you haven't worked out already, as in you haven't discovered it already, the negative consequences that could come from it. And I'm hoping with this video, you might even be able to make some alterations or tweaks, again, if you haven't figured it out already, to dramatically have this benefit the bedroom even more than it does already. Now, if you're someone that has worked out in the past, but maybe you've just slacked off a little bit, hopefully this will motivate you to get going. And if you're someone that doesn't work out, but you're aiming to improve your bedroom performance, well, I really think that working out should be a higher priority, but I can definitely understand why you want to do this. And hopefully this will motivate you to not only improve your bedroom performance, but actually get yourself to the gym. Because let me tell you, like I said, it is honestly one of the best recommendations, outside of anything else you can do, from exercises literally to do with your lad, absolutely anything, right? No blue pills needed. You do this thing and so many other things in your life will improve, including your bedroom health and performance. Reason number 1, I like to think of this as a supply and demand, right? You're able to demand more of something from the body as a, consequence. And in this regard, it's a good consequence, a good benefit, and that is testosterone. It's obviously known as the male hormone, even though females have it as well, just at much smaller amounts, or just different ratios, let's say. Now, I just want to paint a quick extreme picture on how I think that testosterone has benefited and made massive differences in the bedroom. Now, sometimes when you just have what you have, you don't really have anything to compare to. So you might think, well, I know logically, I've read that testosterone improves, male aspects, male characteristics, including, sexual health and performance. But I've been able to, have the experience of knowing what it's like to have supernatural levels of testosterone and what it can do for the bedroom. Now, this is not me recommending you jumping on the gear or getting on any exogenous hormones or chemicals, but I just want to paint a picture because of the experience that I have. These days, chemical free, but a good perspective nonetheless. Now, I've always been someone that has been extremely passionate and, quite frankly, probably a little bit obsessed with my health and wellness and fitness. And I've always measured my blood markers to make sure that, I'm at optimal levels. Now, not only that, I've obviously had to get blood markers done, especially when I went down the chemical route. But I know, even at natural levels, whenever my testosterone was higher, and it's not just testosterone, it's the balance, okay? It's the ratios of everything. Once all that is in good working order, I'm telling you now, it just makes the biggest difference. I know this is probably obvious for so many of you, but it's just a consideration to keep in mind, and how much it can make a difference in the bedroom. Now, when I went down the chemical route, my goal was essentially to really make things improve in the gym. I wanted to recover faster, build muscle, all that fun stuff. But I was, pleasantly surprised on the amount of difference that it made in the bedroom. I'm telling you now, this is a wooden, you probably can't see it now, but a wooden table. I'm telling you now, I probably could have punched a hole through plaster. I could get that hard. It was just quite frankly, abnormal, right? Stamina. I mean, without needing to do any methods for lasting longer, like edging, start-stop methods, using creams, pills, potions, whatever, I could not only last longer, the amount of control that I had. I could take things to the edge and just in a moment, in just a quick, like I could change my thinking for a second and almost reset my levels, which I think just really speaks into a lot of the importance of hormones. Now, I'm not necessarily just talking about supernatural levels, just using that as a perspective, as an extreme to, you know, put it on a perspective and a spectrum, so to speak, to hopefully get your natural levels as optimal as possible. Not only that, I personally believe that, you know, because you're so hard and because you're lasting so long, like in that state, it's almost like a natural way to increase the size of your D. Once again, just a perspective, but I was that hard. It's almost like my tissues had no other option but to grow. Now this period, I was probably intermittently doing methods for increasing my size, such as hanging and all day stretching, but it was, I think, too sporadic. Looking at things in hindsight, it was probably too sporadic to get much results, or at least relative to what I could have gotten if I had stuck to a good routine. Now, not only that, it is one of the key hormones to so many other roles in the body, including blood flow, including literally motivation, including libido, you know, to get you into the bedroom, or even if you know you don't have a partner, to actually go out and get one. That motive, that drive, it is all there. It is all coming from testosterone levels. And that leads me to the second reason, growth hormone. Now, why I say this one is because if you also have a goal of increasing size, you're essentially doing damage or incurring stress to the tissues of the lad. When you're in the gym, you're breaking down tissues, you're causing micro stress, and in that regard, you're also helping build the muscle. Now that's essentially why growth hormone is released, for multiple other reasons, but one of the biggest reasons is you're demanding more growth, more repair and healing from the body. So the body, to actually accommodate for that, it releases testosterone, it releases growth hormone and many other hormones and chemicals, but those are the main two. And especially when I'm talking about increasing the size of your lad, you're incurring damage down there as well. So you almost get to piggyback on this release of chemicals. Reason number three is I really believe your environment can play such a massive role in motivation and, you know, steering you in the right direction depending on what your goal is. And I'm hoping for the right reasons. Now, why I say this, you know, there's a quote, you are the 5 people that you hang around most. And I think something can also be said about your environment. When you are, let's say, hanging around people that are making a lot more money, you feel like you want to make a lot more money. If you're in the gym and there are guys just smashing these massive heavy weights and, you know, you're over with your, you know, fraction size weights, you really want to push yourself even more. So I think setting yourself up in an environment, and depending on what you like, I'm not saying that this has to be your situation, but it definitely helps, at least for me. I definitely push myself that much more when I'm in an environment where I'm almost comparing myself. I think because we're such social creatures, we literally can't help it, okay? I mean, thousands of years ago, you wanted to keep up with the pack, right? And even though we're not relying as much on the pack, we are still programmed, we're biologically built to compare and actually improve due to our environment, including the people that we're around. So you get to intentionally put yourself in this environment and, you know, get all that biological drive stimulated in your brain and your body. Now it goes both ways, from not only working out, but, you know, you push yourself harder in a good way, and I'll get to how to do that properly later in the video, but you not only push yourself harder, you're actually more motivated to get to the gym in the first place, even if you're someone that's not working out. Now, I will admit, some people might not be motivated depending on where you are in your working out journey. I think it does take a little bit of time, especially if you're someone that maybe is a little bit more insecure, whether you're willing to admit that or not. Getting to the gym could be, you know, a little bit daunting, a little bit overwhelming. But when you start getting results, I really think that, you know, the momentum just exponentially increases. So just keep that in mind. If you are someone that's terrified of getting to the gym, all that does pass. And once you start building yourself up, you know, other people start noticing, like you again, depending on the gym you go to, it's definitely rewarding. People don't really need to say anything. They can just look at you, know that you've made a difference, and boom, you're off to the races. Like, you just feel that much more motivated. So keep going no matter where you are in your journey. But it's not only from a working out perspective. You've usually, hopefully, weirdly if it wouldn't be, got other people there that is your preferred sex, whether it is female or male. That again is definitely motivating, right? I'm guessing one of the reasons you also want to work out is the aesthetic side of things. Not only, I'm hoping, it's because of health and fitness reasons, but like, why do we want to look better, right? We want to look good in our birthday suit. Of course. Where are we in our birthday suit? In the bedroom, in front of that person that, you know, we want to go to town on. And there are very few things that feels as good as when you just strip off and you can just see those eyes just gaze on you up and down like, damn. Now, why I say that is because when you're in the gym, and maybe it's just a guy thing, I'm sure it's a girl thing as well, but you definitely visualize yourself, how you look and how it would be with that other person. Man, even for those of you that already have a partner, I have no doubt, maybe some of you a little bit less, but I have no doubt you visualize yourself in the bedroom with that person, how you look, how they look, but also how you perform. How's that gonna be? Including all the way to the size of your D. Everything, I'm sure, comes into balance, and maybe this is that motivation to improve yourself, not only in the gym for the physical and aesthetic and health and fitness aspect, but also for every other performance metric when it comes to the bedroom, hardness, stamina, and even size. So maybe it's motivating you to improve, especially if you've got the perspective of everything else is improving, so I should probably improve that even more so. And that perfectly leads to the fourth reason, which is self-improvement domino effect. I've definitely found that when I start improving one thing in my life, especially the gym, because of its just outrageous and number of benefits that it has, you know, improving my overall health and wellness, sleep, focus, energy, just everything. Like, if you're not getting to the gym, like, I don't know what's wrong with you. Get to the gym. It's gonna improve your overall life, but especially the bedroom. But I've definitely found when I improve my overall aesthetics, like, imagine you're in the bedroom, you're stripping down, they're gazing up and down at you. I think we are all our own biggest critic, right? So when there's quite a big contrast. I can definitely say that if you really improve yourself aesthetically, overall, you look better. If you decrease body fat as well, amazing. That even has a benefit of increasing your size too, by the way. But I feel like as all this increases, like even if you lose weight, like your whole face even changes, right? But if you're standing there in front of the mirror, if you do this and everything else starts improving, it's like, you know, that section, your lad, almost stays the same. Unless, of course, you lose a tremendous amount of your fat pad or body fat, and a lot of that guy comes out, amazing. But it might even motivate you to, you know, improve that area as well from hardness, stamina, and from the aesthetic point of view, and definitely functional point of view, size as well. All right, the last reason before I get on to the 5 steps on actually how to make sure that gym is going to have these benefits and many more, and not the opposite effect. Because again, guys, I'm speaking from experience. I've had all the positive benefits, but I've also unfortunately had like crazy consequences. And it's not just because of the chemical use. I'm like, even when I was training completely naturally, I let a lot of these reasons almost take over. It can definitely have a dark side to it, and I want to get to that in the next part of this video. Now, the last reason is the hormetic stress. All right, once a hormetic stress, meaning a stress that is intentionally incurred, or you are intentionally causing stress to the body to make sure that it heals so you are stronger in one way or another. And in this regard, maybe strength, endurance, power. I also think that it has so many more benefits mentally that, you know, many people don't talk about, whether it is energy, focus, discipline, right? All mental characteristics that you get as a benefit from the gym. But speaking about hormetic stress, if you're able to do things correctly and training hard and smart, and I'll get to, you know, what that exactly means in a sec, but I've personally found that stressing intentionally in the gym literally changes my perspective of stress in life overall. Now, why is that even beneficial? Because let's say you go through life and you don't really have too many stresses. I mean, you do have stresses, but relative to the intentional stress you put on yourself, like you could have stress from work, you could have stress from the relationship, but I personally don't think anything measures up compared to when you're pushing yourself physically. All right, if you push yourself physically, the brain and the body doesn't necessarily know that you're not running from a saber-toothed tiger. So it gives you resources and flips the perspective so that, you know, everything is geared towards this thing. It's like compared to the boss that's, you know, breathing down your neck if you have one. I mean, he can eat a dick compared to the amount of intensity that you could go through in the gym. I mean, if you push yourself that hard, again, and smart, but you give yourself a good workout, you leave the gym like completely toast. I'm telling you now, it definitely changes you. It changes your perspective on life. Like, I almost feel like I care less about other things in a good way, right? I care less about things on the outside world relative to how I push myself in the gym. Now, I think I had been working out for such a long time that I had less perspective on how much the gym benefited me, right? It's just been something that, like, it's a part of me. Like, I really didn't know life without working out. But the one change that I'd made, I guess, in maybe the past couple of years, I'd made a number of other changes, including losing weight and I guess getting a little bit leaner for other reasons like wakeboarding. I used to be an absolute gorilla. I mean, I've gotten up to about 120 kilos before, which was just too much. So as you can imagine, never really been, you know, hardcore into cardio, but with a number of lifestyle changes and I guess motives for other reasons, I wanted to be fitter and more capable cardiovascularly to, you know, have more stamina for like other activities in life, like wakeboarding, snowboarding, all that stuff comes in really, really handy. Now, why I say all that is because I all of a sudden just felt like doing cardio. I just felt like going on runs, going on bike rides, but running in particular, like I've never really been a fan of running, but one day I just chucked on a pair of shoes and ran 10K. Weirdly enough, this is where I got the contrast because of the massive change in this, you know, physical exercise or this type of exercise. There was a period where I noticed that my control, my stamina, all right, my ability to control my ejaculation was just through the roof. And it wasn't necessarily because, you know, at this time I was also completely natural. It's not like I was on a chemical train or anything. It's like I had the control as if I was, like I told you before, on, you know, gear and having supernatural levels of testosterone, but it was almost to the point where like I just couldn't climax. I could, but it would take focus to climax, not focus to not climax, which was so interesting for me. And I think I gained that perspective because of the contrast from, you know, not doing cardio that much to just all of a sudden going flat out. And I think it's because of this perspective of stress. Now, why does that matter? Because when you're having intercourse, you are essentially operating on a spectrum of the nervous system that is, let's say, relaxed, so rest, digest, grow, procreate, all that. You actually need to be enough into this side to get hard at all, to get an erection. If you're not relaxed enough, that is where erectile dysfunction can come from, one of the many reasons. But then all the way on the other side of the spectrum, you've got what I like to call the intense side, or you may know it as the fight, flight, or freeze system, okay? This is the sympathetic system of the nervous system. Now, believe it or not, as you go through having intercourse in the bedroom, you are going from one side, getting erect, pushing all the way into the other side. Now, without the sympathetic side, you can't climax. But imagine if you're training, whether it's working out, building muscle, or all of a sudden chucking on shoes and going for a 10K run every day for the next few weeks, your stress, right? The side of stress to get there, you've essentially changed it, right? That's quite stressful. So now your new stress, your new level of stress is over here. So imagine if you're starting on this side of when you get into the bedroom, you get hard, you're relaxed enough, right? You've got so much further to go to actually climax. I think this is a very oversimplified way to explain it, but it's essentially how I found, you know, me just not only lasting longer, but just having abnormal control, which was really cool, but something to keep in mind. So Long story long, Hormetic stress, get it done. Okay, so real quick, like I said, 5 steps to make sure you get all these benefits and so many more that I just haven't even covered in this video. I'm sure you could even come up with yourself, or you'll find just from personal experience. The first one is progressive overload. Now, I've been someone that has been motivated, I guess, for the right reasons, but also the wrong reasons as well. And progressive overload is something that is so overlooked, so underestimated. And to be honest, you may not need it when you begin, but I'm telling you now, everyone from beginner to advanced, especially more so advanced people and guys training in the gym, you're not only going to get more results and benefits from utilizing this protocol of slowly increasing intensity in the gym and working in cycles of deloading, meaning you're having essentially a break, or you're lifting much lighter weights to just calm the nervous system again, because the gym and the nervous system, they are so strongly correlated. Essentially, if you push yourself so hard that your body is always sitting in the sympathetic system, and like I said, it's good to stress yourself, but if you stress yourself so much, you're never allowing the body to come back again into literally the side that helps you heal, that helps promote recovery. That is why it's also known as the rest, digest, and grow side of the nervous system. Rest, digest, grow, fight, flee, or freeze. If your system always thinks that it needs to fight, flight, or freeze, it's thinking that it can't have time. Like, the priority is getting out of this situation. For all your body knows, I mean, you're fighting off a saber-toothed tiger in the jungle because you are just that toast. Every day you're just annihilating your body. Who knows what your body thinks, but its reasoning is, there's no time to just rest right now. So you need to allow that time. And one of the ways is to implement progressive overload, which is training hard. So don't think this is a way to get out of training hard. You still need to train hard, but you need to train smart as well. I've always been someone, I've been really passionate about the gym and pushing myself to just absurd levels for other reasons I'll get into in another video, but I've definitely overdone it and not allowed adequate healing. And because of that, I've essentially almost created like a PTSD-like symptoms. Not really, but I got to a period in my training life where I couldn't go into the gym without feeling stressed. It's almost as if because my body just knew that it was just going to cop it. All right, second step is compare you to you. This one's going to be incredibly difficult, and it may sound a little contradictory to one of the points or the reasons you should get your ass into the gym to benefit the bedroom. Now, this one may be a little harder, but speaking from experience, I still feel a sense of ego coming out when I hit the gym and see someone else lift, but I'm very confident that once you start training for a certain amount of time, when you put 5, 10 plus years into the gym, it literally just becomes the norm. Unless you've gone backwards and that's when your ego comes out, because you technically should be doing better. You should be at a level, or you could have used that time to improve. But if you've been really hitting it for 5, 10 plus years and you see someone else, I feel personally that I've just had appreciation. I just know what it takes to get there. Even if they're on chemicals or not, it all takes effort. It all takes a lot of time. So in the beginning, comparing you to you might really be a lot harder, because you're comparing where you're starting compared to someone else's 10 years, but you haven't necessarily got that perspective or appreciation for what it takes. When you get 5, 10 plus years in, you're like, okay, I get it. I've also improved, but that guy, holy motherfucker, that's a lot. Kudos, dude. Tip your hat off. Well done. Now, why I also say that as well is because mentally and emotionally, you don't want to create this jealousy, this emotion when you get into the gym, a thing that's supposed to be benefiting you the rest of your life and the bedroom. You don't want to create this negative association. Yes, you can use it as fuel to push yourself harder. That's fantastic. But the last thing you want to do is create this negative association to, gym is where this place is that, everyone's better than me. Hopefully you can gain perspective and appreciation and work at it from a place of love rather than ego. Again, sometimes easier said than done, but I'm telling you right now, it's such a better feeling when you're able to get in there and then just enjoy the process. Appreciate everyone. They're all in there trying to do the best for themselves as well. And I'm hoping you're there for the right reasons, doing the best that you can for yourself. Now, why I also want to mention that is because as you start comparing, maybe for the wrong reasons, as you start comparing you to you, you'll start doing it in other aspects if you're not already. Now, I think pornography has a massive part to play for guys having body dysmorphia when it comes to size. Now, as you can imagine, as a guy that runs a business to help guys improve their sexual health and performance and sells products to do with size, this can be a very slippery slope. All right, you start comparing others in the gym, you start imagining things, and then that kind of body dysmorphia then trickles to just every area of your life, including the size. So just be careful. I've even made a whole video on just things to consider. Doing things for the right and the wrong reasons, and the state that that can put you in that literally affects your results, all right? And many more in the video and considerations that you should definitely keep in mind. So body dysmorphia is real, and again, it is a slippery slope, so just be careful. All right, step number 3, natural is king. Now, I might sound a little contradictory because I've obviously been on a chemical train, but it has provided me experience, perspective, to even want to include that kind of point in this video. So I've trained a lot of my life, well, most of my life, natural, but I've also had that experience and perspective of what it feels like to be, on chemicals and what it can do. But I can tell you now that nothing feels better than your testosterone at high levels. All right, this stuff can honestly be a drug. And when you start using some, you want to use even more. It is honestly like a drug, but 24/7, all right? Even your motivation's high, you feel really good on all levels. Now, this is not me trying to motivate you and coerce you into getting on a chemical train and using any exogenous chemicals. I'm just saying be careful. Treat it like a drug. Treat it even like an illicit party drug. Like, would you take that every day? All right, I totally agree. There's a time and a place to use it, especially if you age and you're doing everything that you can in your life. There was a period, not even too long ago for me, I think that I used stupid amounts that screwed my levels up, which led me to get on TRT, or testosterone replacement therapy. That's not a place that I wanted to be. And that is where, from experience, I've also had the negative consequences of chemicals. Not only in the gym, how that affects me, energy levels, motivation, even depressive thoughts. I'm telling you now, I've gone to dark places because of this stuff. And with all my experience and looking back in hindsight, okay, fine, it was fun. Getting into the gym, being able to lift the weights that you can, the recovery, the pace, your ability just to get back in, the benefits that it had in the bedroom. But let me tell you now, there's almost nothing that feels worse than when you're feeling like absolute trash because you almost fell into this momentum of using the stuff and you became addicted, and now you've got this almost aesthetics created from that then leads to the benefits in the bedroom. But imagine this, what goes up must come down. So if you don't do this properly, again, this is not me recommending you do this at all. I would recommend, this is why the point is called natural is king. Okay, keep that in mind. What goes up must come down. I've been in very, very dark places mentally, emotionally, and physically. I've almost had the opposite effect where just energy levels, my aesthetics went away. That caused mental stress, but also all the way to erectile dysfunction. There was periods where I literally couldn't get it up. It even, in my opinion, caused me to have the opposite of increased stamina and increased control. It's almost like I created my own premature ejaculation, which was crazy. And obviously, if there's no hardness and there's less stamina, there's even less size. Keep that in mind, right? If you jump on this train, it is a train you want to be careful of, and eventually you're going to need to get off. And that is just a whole fucking routine in of itself. Which is why I want to come back to the main point, natural is king. But if you're just able to really focus on your levels naturally, do everything that you can. There are so many things that you can do to keep things as natural as possible. Not only is natural safer, it's better because it's your testosterone. I don't hear about this often being spoken about. When you are taking in something exogenous, something outside of you, that's like testosterone has so many different roles to play, but this is a synthetic version. This testosterone is not you. It was not created by you. Your testes create your testosterone, which in my opinion, it almost has characteristics of its own, which is interesting. And I wish like someone spoke about this, or I'd heard about this in the past. Like, this is not often mentioned. You often just, feel all the benefits and see like everything that comes from it, from the looks. And I guess that just takes over. You don't really care or sink into your body to think about like, how do I actually feel? Like, is this still me? I really feel that it's not. But when you're able to, if you ever have this perspective, like hopefully you can take this video and run with it and just trust me on this one. Your testosterone at high levels does not compare. I'm telling you right now, it is an amazing feeling. Like, it's not only you, and hopefully you love you, but you 10x'd, all right? You at high levels, take care of everything that you can. Train hard and smart, sleep, diet. There are so many other things that you can do to improve your testosterone, but that is not for this video. Maybe another one. There are many other videos to help you improve your testosterone levels naturally. Remember, natural is king. All right, and the last two, I'll briefly cover. I know this video is getting a bit long now. Mindful lifting over ego lifting. Again, another contradictory point, I guess, but when you get into the gym, the motivation to lift heavier because the other dude's lifting heavier, or there's some eye candy in the gym and you want to impress them. I get it. I totally get it. But if you're able to even take that energy and to train harder while you're training smarter, well, let me start off with what doesn't impress me is when you can see someone ego lifting, like just spastic lifting, like, dude, I hope this guy doesn't blow his fucking back out. It almost makes you feel nervous. And I guess you could lift well with ego. Like, there's definitely an element of that. And I'm not saying you can get into the gym and just have zero ego. I'm sure there's always ego. Like, it is you at the end of the day. Ego is you. But being able to incorporate as much mindfulness as possible when you're in this environment of stress, when you're able to still stay mindful and conscious of your movement, connect to the body. If you're able to do this in such a stressful and intense environment and activity, you're able to bring that into the bedroom in this intense arena where everything's going on, like you're being stimulated every which way. You're able to still stay mindful, like it literally translates. I've always been able to find that the benefit from that in the gym has always come back with me into the bedroom. And honestly, nothing impresses me more than seeing not spastic weight, but a decent weight lifted with control and precision. And you could be on the other side of the gym and you feel the guy contracting and connecting mind to muscle. Like, you're like, damn. Especially when, they're doing things in a controlled and slow way and you're seeing the muscles contract to lift that, again, decent weight. All right, not spastic weight, but just to have so much control with decent weight. I really think you can get that with mindful lifting. Plus, you're obviously at less risk of tearing your shit up. And I guess that's another way to train smart. And lucky last, fall in love with the process. Really, this is also going to feed into the other points that I made as well. You could definitely start resenting the gym, maybe because you're comparing yourself in like a negative way. Maybe you start stressing your body out so much because you're not using progressive overload or you're not training smart and you're just trying to keep up with the Joneses. You could stress your body out that much that, even like I mentioned, I created an environment for myself. Like, I would just annihilate myself that much in the gym. There was a period where like I had to take so much time off the gym because every time I stepped into the gym, like I just had this like almost overwhelm, like not even lifting a weight yet, body overwhelm. Like, no wonder. This gym for me was like a place of carnage. Like, it took me such a long time to get all the benefits without all the consequences. I went through a period where I started getting momentum, loving the gym, but then just pushing myself to absurd levels and then going on the chemical train. And then, I got all the negatives of the gym and what can happen. But I guess with all that experience and perspective, I was able to swing it back again to see what I was doing and give me the knowledge to even give this video, but it enabled me to just even have that much more appreciation and just make sure I knew how to train hard, but also smart, benefiting not only myself mentally, emotionally, physically, but also everything to do with the bedroom, hardness, stamina, and size, without feeling like I was about to jump off a cliff because, you know, what goes up must come down. So with that said, falling in love with the process. I mean, anyone who can work out because they love working out and they've found a way to do it in a holistic way out of love, not all ego, I really feel like they are always going to outwork the person that is doing it for an outcome, you know, purely for the aesthetic side of things, or, you know, not lifting mindfully. You know, they're just thinking about the short term. If you just get to the gym because it is what you do and you're able to incorporate everything I've said in this video, that is a good place to be. Like, you just don't know yourself without the gym, lifting mindfully, using progressive overload. Like, you just love the whole process. I'm telling you now, you're only gonna get the benefits. I really hope this video helped, and it's honestly something that I wish I had back, you know, when I started training. But I totally agree and can understand and appreciate that everyone's got to go through their own journey. Maybe you do have to go to the dark side. Hopefully not, because, you know, it's a slippery slope. And honestly, I'm lucky to have come back from it. Real dark places. But yeah, look, maybe a lot of you need to go through a similar journey. Hopefully not too bad. Hopefully you all come back. But hopefully this video can just remind you when you're in those places, when you're thinking about looking at that person, or, you know, comparing yourself, or maybe you've got an opportunity to jump on the chemical train, just remember this video. There is so much benefit that can come from doing things the right way and for the right reasons, honestly. But again, I totally understand people needing their own experience, needing their experience. You know, it's one thing to listen to an experience, but, you know, we all need to have our own journey. So for more videos like this one, check out totalmanperformance.com. And for anything to do with increasing your hardness, stamina, size, from courses to PE products, you can check out totalmanshop.com. As always, guys, be the man you know you can be. I'll see you in the next video.